Welcome to the Bentley Systems training course, where we will show you how to model loads and generate load combinations in STAAD.Pro Connect Edition. In this video, we're going to be focusing on generating our load combinations. In STAAD.Pro, you have the ability to create or generate two different types of load combinations. The first load combination type we're going to talk about is our traditional load combinations. A traditional load combination is a set of load results which are combined algebraically to produce a superimposed set of results for post-processing. In a traditional load combination, STAAD.Pro will calculate the results of each load case individually. When a vertical and a lateral load case are combined, say for example when you add dead load plus wind load, the results for the dead load case will be added to the results for the wind load case. A traditional load combination does not incorporate second-order effects and should be only used in a linear elastic analysis. This type of load combination is not appropriate for a p-delta analysis. We will now turn our attention to a new sample model. Now, to start the process of creating load combinations, we're going to go to the Workflow Page Control area and select the Loading tab. Now, after I do that, you're going to notice that your Load and Definition dialog is going to appear at the right-hand side of your screen in the Data area. We will now expand the Load Case Details section in the Load and Definition dialog, and we're going to notice that several different load types have been created in this model already, which includes dead load, live load, wind, and seismic. We're now at the point in the workflow where we are ready to start creating some load combinations. Now we're going to start this process by creating a traditional load combination. Again, that's a load combination that includes a set of load results which are combined algebraically to produce a superimposed sets of results for post-processing. And you would typically use this type of load combination in a linear elastic analysis. Now, when you're ready to create a load combination, you can create it manually or automatically. We're going to start with the manual process so we get comfortable with that. In the Loading tab in the ribbon toolbar, we're now going to select the Combination Load Case option. Now what this will allow us to do is basically grab any predefined load case or primary load case that already exists in the model. So say for example, we're trying to create a load combination that's just dead load plus seismic load. Well, let's go ahead and name our load combination. We'll go dead load plus seismic load. And then we're going to identify the load cases we want to grab. So I want to grab some dead load. I'm going to hold down my control key and grab my first seismic load. Once I do this, I'm going to move these over to the selected area, and I can adjust their factors for their load case. So let's go ahead and say for this load case, which will be my dead load, I'm going to say 1.2 dead plus 1.0 seismic. And this will be just a normal load combination, which is basically an algebraic combination. It's going to take 1.2 dead plus 1.0 seismic. Once we're done, we'll go ahead and click the Add button, and then we'll click Close. Now, of course, the process to create individual load combinations may be a long one. So we also do include a load combination generator. So say, for example, I want to generate my load combinations. Well, what will be needed for that is you're going to need to be very specific when you specify your primary load cases. And specifically what I'm talking about is here, if I double click on one, you need to make sure you specify your loading type correctly. This is what the program is going to use in order to generate your load combinations for you. So we need to make sure everything's set appropriately there. If you specified a loading type equal to none for any load case, they won't be included in your automatic load combinations. So if I wanted to ask the program to generate load combinations for me, I'm going to come up here and select Automatic Combinations, and then we'll go to Automatic Load Combinations. Now for this model, let's say I'm doing a steel model, so I'll go to the AISC 360. I'll use the Public Combination Generator, and then I'm going to ask the program to generate my load combinations for me. It's as simple as that. We're just going to go ahead and click the Add button and then click Close, and I can see all of my load combinations have been created. Now these are traditional load combinations. Again, those are an algebraic combination of their results. We know that they're load combinations because we're going to see a blue C with a square over next to them. Now, these types of load combinations should only be used in a linear elastic analysis. They're not appropriate for any type of second order analysis, including models where P delta might be required, or any models that have tension only or compression only members. The other type of workflow we can utilize to combine different loads together is to create a repeat load case. Now, this will be used to create a primary load case using combinations of previously defined primary load cases. A repeat load is treated as a new primary load, and second order analyses, such as a P delta analysis, will reflect the correct second order effects. In a repeat load combination, STAAD.Pro will apply the load cases on the structure simultaneously and then calculate their combined results. When dead load and wind load, for example, are combined together, the second order effects caused by the lateral load combinations being applied with the gravity load combinations will be captured and the additional moments may be created. We're now going to turn our attention back to our sample model. Now, just for clarity, I've gone ahead and removed all of the traditional load combinations that we had previously created, because now what we're going to do is we're going to create repeat style load cases instead of that, in preparation for possibly performing a P delta analysis on this model. So the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to create this repeat style load case manually, just like how we had done for the traditional load combinations. So the process to do that is basically you start by just creating a new primary load case. So up in the loading tab of my ribbon toolbar, I'm now going to click on my add primary load case icon. Here I can name this anything I want, dead load plus seismic load. And I'm going to set my loading type equal to none. The reason I'm going to do that is because later on, if I want to come back and regenerate load combinations, I don't want this included as a candidate for that process or that command. So let's go ahead and click the Add button, and then we're going to click Close. So what we've done so far is we've created that primary load case. Now we need to tell the program what load cases should be included in this combination. So I'm going to highlight that new load combination or the new load case I just created. I'm going to come up to my ribbon toolbar and tell the program I want to add a new load item within it. What this will do is it'll bring up the Create New Load Items dialog, and I'm going to come down here and find the Repeat Load option here. And what I can do, just like I had created a load combination, is I'm going to grab the load cases I want to be included. So for this model, I'll go ahead and grab dead load and seismic load. I'm going to pull them over, and then I can customize their factors. We'll go ahead and click the Add button, and then we'll click Close. So as you can see, this would be most appropriate for something like a P delta analysis, where I am anticipating some additional moments to be caused when the lateral load and the gravity loads are added simultaneously to the structure. Now, if you'd prefer, we can also go ahead and generate our load combinations automatically by the program. Again, also making sure you set up your load types to be correct for the type of load they represent. So in your ribbon toolbar, I'm now going to select the Automatic Combinations icon and go to Automatic Load Combinations. This is the same exact process we had seen before, where we're going to start by selecting our code. And before we hit the Generate Loads button, we're going to find a checkbox down here. This will instruct the program to create repeat load cases. So we're going to go ahead and select that, and then just simply hit Generate Loads. Once we're ready, we'll click the Add button to officially add them to the input file, and then we will click the Close button. And you can see here that that process was pretty quick to kind of generate those load combinations for us. Now we can tell that these are repeat style load combinations because we'll see an L here instead of the blue C. Now, as you're generating your load combinations, it might be helpful to understand where that information is coming from or how STAAD.Pro uses their load combination generators. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. In the Loading tab in the ribbon toolbar, I'm going to select the Automatic Combinations icon, and we're going to find our second command down here, which is to edit our auto load rules. And what we can do is we can go ahead and preview the load combination generators that are going to be used whenever you invoke one of them when generating your load combinations. So here I'm going to select my code. This is the same code I had selected previously. Now, as I select the AISC 360, you probably noticed I had a couple different categories here, and you might be wondering what is going to be generated with each one of those. Well, if I selected the general category, I'm going to see that this is an ASD style load combination generator. It'll tell me which load combinations will be created, what the factors are for each. It'll tell me if the cases are combined together. If I had notional loads, it'll let me know if those should be included with that particular load case. If I go down, I select the public one instead, I can see that this is an LRFD style steel load combination generator. And if I have one more category down here, I can select the garage. And here what you can see is that factor jumped up from 0.5 to 1.0. So you do want to reference your building standard that you're using to make sure your occupancy of your building structure and anything else that needs to be incorporated in your load combinations is taken care of and you've selected the appropriate combination for yourself. Now within this dialog, you can also create new codes and new categories to customize the program for yourself. We'll go ahead and click close at that point, but it is a good place to be able to go to see what's going to be generated before you go through this process.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.